ABC 6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Bill Guile.
Good evening, everyone. And indeed, we are going to be shoveling and perhaps plowing this event. The good news is I don't see any real coastal impacts from this. I don't expect there to be any coastal flooding, nor do I really expect any damaging winds as a result of this storm. It's really pretty much going to be snow that we're going to have to be dealing with. Going in the record books today, we hit a high of 38 degrees after starting off this morning at 19. So pretty close to where we should be for this time of the year. We had a lot of clouds this morning, a few flurries around midday, then breaks of sunshine, and then another round of flurries quickly going by this evening. There's another little batch trying to come down right up around the Boston area. Again, not amounting to anything, but it is the leading edge of the colder air that is coming down. So presently in Providence, we're looking at 33 degrees right now. The wind has shifted to the northwest, so the temperature's starting to drop across the region, and we're seeing a frontal system that's carrying those colder temperatures to the south now. It's down to 34 degrees in Newport, and New Bedford is at 35, so we're cooling off everywhere. 26 Norwood, and get up to Boston, 25. That northerly wind is bringing in the colder air, setting the stage for what's to come tomorrow. Now, there's plenty of warm air across the Gulf Coast region, and this is feeding into the system that you just heard about, how it's developing and creating some severe weather through Oklahoma and Texas. That storm center is now right across Nebraska and Kansas, and it is going to be continuing to move off to the east-northeast throughout the day tomorrow. Leading the way, though, will be high pressure. That's setting the stage with the cold air in place so that by the time the moisture gets here, it's going to be all snow when it gets underway. So here's what's going on. Right now we're looking at winter weather advisories that will go in effect not until tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock, okay? And it will stay up until just about 7 p.m. Tuesday. So the event to come is almost a 24-hour event. So let's get to all the details and the specifics you're really going to want to know about, especially if you're a plowing contractor or work at the DPWs. So basically, snow will begin tomorrow evening after the commute. So between 9 and 11 o'clock, snow overspreads the area. If you're in any region along the south coast or towards the Cape, we may see some rain mixing in, but that won't happen until Tuesday afternoon, pretty much around 1, 3 o'clock in the afternoon hours. So the first inch to be on the ground, expect that to occur. That's pretty much going to happen after midnight up until about 2 o'clock in the morning. That's when we get into the real steady snowfall and the intensity starts to pick up. The storm's going to last just about 24 hours total. Total snow accumulations throughout just about the entire state of Rhode Island is going to be about 4 to 7 inches, but right along the south coast, maybe 3, 3.5, 4, and over towards southeastern Mass and on the Cape as well. These are the areas that will perhaps get a little bit of mixing. When it's all said and done, well, we're going to see temperatures going below freezing at night and then melting during the day on Wednesday. So that's your quick summary. Now let's get into how this whole thing looks as it plays out on our weather maps. High pressure moves across the region tonight and tomorrow morning. So we start off with sunshine. Clouds come in for the afternoon, and here comes the precipitation as we get towards the evening hours. And it will be all snow when it moves into the area. It won't pick up in intensity, though, until after midnight, and that's when we get into the strongest part of the storm right through Tuesday morning. Bulk of the accumulations, that's mostly all going to happen by noontime on Tuesday, because what will happen is when the low-pressure area redevelops off the coast, it's going to split the energy. This one to the north, the main low, is going to kind of weaken and fall apart, and this is going to take all its energy, and the low is going to drift east-southeastward away from the region. So I think any snowfall that's occurring through the afternoon Tuesday is going to be fairly light and weakening, and that's why we could get some mixing with the coastline. And then we start to improve conditions as we go on into a Wednesday to get some melting. But let's take a close-up look, see how this plays out. Tomorrow evening, we're still cloudy. Temperatures now at or below freezing. And as we head towards 9, 10, 11 o'clock, that's when the steadier light snows move in. Some of these darker shades of blue indicating pockets of moderate snowfall, maybe even briefly heavy. So that means snowfall rates reaching an inch, maybe an inch and a half per hour at times, with our temperatures holding between 28 and 30 degrees throughout the entire overnight. And that's all the way to the East Coast as well. Notice if you're out on Cape Cod, same sort of story. But as we go towards daybreak, these numbers start to come up a little bit. The most intense snows begin to ease up because, again, a lot of the energy is shifting offshore. Notice the mixing line trying to creep in along the coastline, and our air temperatures, while this model is showing us to be around 37 or 38 degrees, that might be just a little too high by a degree or two. But we'll see how things play out as we get closer to it. Nonetheless, it's all winding down for Tuesday evening and coming to an end by this time Tuesday night. So around 11 o'clock, we're done with this whole system. Snow totals, I'm basically expecting 4 to 6 inches throughout much all of Rhode Island. Again, add a little elevation to the northwest, a 7th inch. The jackpot's really going to be in northern Connecticut, where there'll be 8, 9 inches of snow the further west you go. But if you're down towards the south coast, we're talking Westerly, Narragansett, Newport, Little Compton, over to New Bedford, Plymouth, about 3 to 4 inches, because this is the area where there'll be some mixing occurring, and then a slushy inch or two out on the Cape. And then when we get past that, Wednesday, we're melting with those temperatures into the 40s, then rain showers coming in Thursday, and another system into Friday and Saturday. One storm at a time. Yeah.